what the heck Docker is, why it is so popular in the IT industry, why everyone is love to learn about the Docker, how Docker works, how the architecture of the Docker is works. We will briefly explain each and every step in this video. So let's start the video. But before talking about Docker, first let's discuss about container. What container is? Let's consider a container is like just a server, and in a container there is a no OS by default. If there is no OS in the container, so we can't able to install packages. If we can't able to install packages, so we will not be able to deploy the application. So in this scenario, images comes out, and let's talk about what is the image. Inside the image we have OS and packages. Both OS and packages are inside the image. By using this image we can build a container, and in container we can run different applications. Talk about virtualization first. Virtualization is the process of utilizing hardware resources in a, but containerization is the process of packing application with its dependencies. What does it means actually? Let's give us an example of PUBG. Know about the PUBG and how to use PUBG. When we install the PUBG, there is a dependency of a PUBG, and that is a map. If there is a map, then we can run PUBG application. Without map, PUBG will not work. So it's the best example to describe containerization. So now let's talk about Docker. Actually, Docker is an open source and free. Its source code is available on GitHub. You can download from GitHub anywhere. Docker will create containers. Actually, the Docker will create containers. We can create, run, and deploy. Got it? It's a And the third point is it's a platform independent. We can deploy it. We can install the Docker on Windows. We can install Docker on Linux. We can install Docker on Mac OS. We can install anywhere, which operating system you want. You can install it. So these container will use the host resources, CPU, RAM, memory, operating system. All these resources will be used by the Docker from the host where the Docker is deployed. Now let's talk about the architecture of the Docker, how the architecture of the Docker is works. There are actually four main components in the architecture of the Docker, that's called Docker client, Docker daemon, Docker host, and Docker registry. These are the four main components of the Docker. Okay, now let's take the example of the architecture of the Docker, how its architecture works. So I have a picture of architecture of the Docker. There is a Docker components. First one is the client, second one is the Docker host and Docker daemon, and another is the registry. Let's take an example. In the childhood, one day in your school, your principal asked you, "Hey boy, tomorrow we have a school trip. Okay, what you have only need only few amount of money, with you. Now what you will do, you will directly first you will check in your pocket either there is some money in your hand or not, in your pocket or not. If there is no money, then you will definitely go to the home and ask your mom, tomorrow is my there is my trip from my school, so I need money." So what your mom did, mom firstly check in her place, either if she have some amount, then she will pick it and give it to you. If she don't have the amount, then she will definitely approach to your dad and ask your dad to give money to her, and in the end you will receive money, and you will come into the picture. So let's apply this example into this architecture. Client means you is as a child, and the Docker host is Docker daemon, and Docker host is your mom, and the registry is your dad. Okay, you are here in a client. As a client, you consider yourself as a client. Okay, you need money. Money means you need an image. Okay, firstly you will check in your pocket, either do you have image or not, either you have a money or not. If you have, then you will create the container from that image. Okay, if there is no image in your pocket, then you will definitely go to your mom and ask her to give you amount. In this case we will consider that you need an image. So you ask from your mom, from here is the Docker daemon is your mom. So you ask Docker daemon, I need this image. If Docker daemon check in in the images and in the container, is there is any image is present in the mom, so it will give it to it will give back to the client. If there is no image in the Docker daemon, then it will ask your registry, your dad. It will ask the registry to provide the image, and this registry is you can call it Docker hub, and you can call it as a registry. So at the end, your dad means your registry will give you an image. Dad will give you image to the mom Docker daemon, and Docker daemon will give at the end will give this image to client, and client will create all these containers. And how this architecture will work, I think you easily now understand how the architecture of the Docker is work. There is a client, there is a Docker daemon, and there is a registry, and there is one more is Docker host, where all these Docker components are resides. Okay, and client need an image. When we have to create a container, firstly we need an image. From the image we can build in a container. There is no operating system and packages by default, so we need image to build an operating system, so that we can create a container and we can deploy our images. So in client need an image. Client will get it from the Docker daemon. If Docker daemon have no image, so ultimately Docker daemon asks registry, will go to the registry, and registry will provide. In this case, registry is your Docker hub that is on the internet. So Docker daemon will definitely provide an image to the Docker host, Docker daemon, and the Docker daemon at the end will give back image to the client. And this is the way how this whole architecture of the Docker is works. Next, let's discuss about Docker client. Docker client is a way of interacting with the Docker. You give command to the Docker client, and it will give you the output. And Docker daemon, it manage all the Docker components, like it manage the images, it manage the containers, it manage the volumes, it manage the networks. And the third one is the Docker host, where the Docker is installed. Either it could be a Linux, it could be a Windows, it could be a Mac OS. You can use whatever you want. And the fourth one is the Docker registry. It manage all the images. Docker registry is nothing but a Docker hub that is present on Docker on the internet. So at the end, all the images will come from the internet and will come into the daemon, and at the end, with the help of the client, we can easily deploy these images. Now I think the first part is completed. Now I think we should move toward the installation of the Docker. Okay, let's jump into the system and install the Docker. This is the official website from where you can download. Let me open it. This is official website from where you can download the Docker desktop. If you wanna install it on Windows, you can install it here from download from here. If you wanna install on Mac, you can also download from here. And if you wanna download for Linux, you can do this. Okay, I have already installed on my on my Ubuntu. Actually, I have a Ubuntu operating system right now running, and where the Docker is. Let me show the version of the Docker. So now Docker version 28.3.2 is currently running on my system. Let me show you the command to install the Docker. I am currently working on Ubuntu, so the command is apt install docker.io. Because I am working on Ubuntu, so the apt package manager will work instead of yum. We will use yum if we are working on Linux, Oracle Linux, or you can say Red Hat Linux. So I'm currently working on Ubuntu, so I'm using apt because apt is works on this system. So let's install apt install docker.io. Because I have already installed it, so it will give me an error. Okay. Okay, the Docker is installed on our machine. So let's enable it. In my case, it's already enabled. Why I'm enabling this service? Whenever if there is a reboot on my system, on my operating system, so the Docker service will automatically start because I have enabled it. Okay, let's check the Docker services are running or not. As you can see, the Docker services are running now, so we can proceed further. So let's try to work with the Docker, and the first command is that we will firstly pull an image Docker. So we will need Docker in all the commands, in all the Docker command. Docker pull means it will fetch the image from the registry that I have already taught about, teach about the architecture of the Docker, how architecture of this Docker will work. If you understand the Docker architecture, then you can move further easily, and you can easily understand how the working of the Docker. So in this example, in this command, I'm putting this Docker pull Ubuntu. You can fetch any image from the Docker registry. In this example, I'm trying to fetch Ubuntu image. Let's fetch this. You can see firstly it will go to the check from the local client, either it's present or not. Then it will go to the Docker daemon, and if it is not present on the Docker daemon, at the end it will go to the Docker registry or Docker hub, and right now it's fetching from the Docker hub. So it will take a few moments to fetch it. Actually it's downloading from the internet, so it will take a time depending on the speed of your internet. Okay, the image is now fetched. So okay, let's check either image is fetched or not. And to check the images of the Docker, the command is Docker images. As you can see, I have just recently fetched the Ubuntu image, and the tag is latest. The tag, if we will not mention any tag, then it automatically fetch the latest tag. And here is the size of the image is 78 MB. It's you can see the size of the image is very small. That's why we will use Docker, because it is very lightweight to use the Docker, as when we compare to the operating system. Operating system normally have a huge size of data files, operating files, but in the Docker these images have a very few sizes. Like in this case, you can see Ubuntu have only 78 MB of the size of the image. Okay, now the second command is we have fetched the image. From the image we can build a container, or we can run a container. Okay, we have a image of the Ubuntu, so by using this image we can create a container and run a container. So the command is docker run -it. Docker run -it means in interactive mode. When this container will run, it will land into the newly created container. I will show it to you how it works. Let's final the command docker run it, run the Docker in the interactive mode, and the name of the image, name of the container, you can you can give any name if you wanna. Let me give it as a container 1. And the last one part is the image from where we can build the container. Right now we have a Ubuntu image, only one image, and from that image we have the latest part of that image. So by this command, the Docker, it will create a container, it will run a container in an interactive mode. The name of the container is container 1, and from which this image will create a container. This container will create from the Ubuntu image, and that is the latest Ubuntu part, because I have the latest part of the Ubuntu image, that's why. Okay, let me run. I just hit enter, and in a few seconds the new server is created, the new container is created. As you can see, as the container is created, it will give me to the new server. Previously I was on a root at the rate Sajjad VirtualBox, but right now I am in a different machine, root at the rate 2A59. Why? Because I put there run minus IT. IT means it will give you to the newly created server. Okay, got it? Okay, you can see, you can run. Right now I am in a server The original server my is Ubuntu server, but I am in a new server that I created, a container server that I created from the Ubuntu image that I pulled earlier from the registry. Okay, so as I have created a container, now let's install Git and Maven in this newly created server. apt install git -y. Okay, it's already created, nothing. Let's try to install Maven. App install Maven -y. It is already there. Okay, whenever we create a Ubuntu server, what we have to do, firstly we have to update it, and then we will upgrade it, and after updating and upgrading we can work on Ubuntu server. It will take a few seconds to upgrade. Okay, now the new Ubuntu server is updated. Now let's try to install some packages like git. Now it's worked. Previously it's not worked. Why? Because we were not updated the newly created updated Ubuntu server and upgraded, but now it's worked. So I have installed Ubuntu server within Ubuntu server, and in that newly created server now I'm trying to install Git, and I can do whatever I want. I can install databases in this server, I can install operating system in this Docker, the number of the operating system whatever I want I can do in this server, because Docker is very lightweight. We can work on thousands of on hundreds of applications in a single server. Okay, let's finish now. Okay, now the next part is how to exit from this server. For that we have a command control P and Q. Okay, let me press P, control P and Q at the same time. So if you can see now I am on my host operating system right now. In previous state I was on a newly created server, but right now I am on my original operating server. So in this way you can fetch from there. We can see the number of docker ps, and right now I can see there is only one container with the name container 1 is running from 4 minutes. It's up and running, and it image from which image it is running, it's called Ubuntu, and there is a container ID. Every container have a unique ID. So these are the some basic commands. Let's do, as you can see, docker image. Docker images will show you the images that currently have. So right now only we have a one image. We can download and fetch any images whatever we want. And the next command is docker ps. Docker ps will guide you, will give you the currently running servers, the currently running containers on this Docker machine. And we can also try docker ps-a. This will also give the stopped container as well. Okay, the next command is if we wanna start and stop a container, how we can start and stop the container. So what we have to do, docker stop and the name of the container, and you can also provide the container ID, but in this case I'm gonna with container name docker stop container 1, and this will stop the container 1. Okay, now let's check whether it's working or not. Now you can see there is no container is running, and if we run docker ps-a, now we can see the container 1 was previously running 15 seconds ago. It was stopped because I have stopped this, so now it's showing that this container is in a stall state. So we can also let me start again this container. Okay, now let me check either it's running or not. Okay, as you can see, my container is again running now, and you can see there also my container is running. So if my container is running, how I can enter into this server? So we can attach docker, attach, and the name of the container. Okay, the moment I press enter, it will give me to the newly created server. So right now I'm in the newly running container, and the container of the name is container1. Okay, we can also stop it and start it as I already shown to you. Now let me hold from there, control P and Q. So right now I'm on my post machine back again. So in this way we can install. In this video we will discuss about the architecture, about the working of the Docker, and the visualization, and we will discuss about the architecture of the Docker, how a client work, how daemon work, and how the registry of the Docker works, and we will discuss about the installation, and we will perform some basic basic commands of the Docker. So Docker file, we will create container with the help of Docker file, and we will discuss about the new technologies and the commands of the Docker, and we will do some fun in the next video, definitely. So till now, if this video will give you value, then please subscribe my channel, hit the like button. If you have any query, you can ask in the comment section, and if you liked my video, then please share it with your friend as well, so it will help everyone to get a better understanding of the Docker and how the working of the Docker. So till now, goodbye, see you in the next video.